What's going on, everybody? And welcome back to another episode of the Chatting with Cheeze podcast. I'm your host, Fat Cheeze, and y'all already know the motto: no gimmicks, only the real. And this right here is episode 60. But not only is this episode 60, this is a very special episode. You want to know why? Because it's my birthday. And I think this is the first time my whole year of me doing the podcast, this is the first time I've actually recorded on my birthday. So for all my loyal supporters and people that support me all the time, you know what I'm saying, when I drop my videos, man, comment down below and wish your boy a happy 31st birthday. Yes, 31 years old. I'm getting old out here, but hey, I'm just blessed and happy to be alive, man. Y'all know what I need from y'all. Like and share the content when it drops. And also, do not forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. We are 9 subscribers away, I believe, from 300 subscribers. So hit that subscribe button, man. Like and share the content. Also, drop a comment. And let's go ahead and jump right into it. So, my favorite season is back. NFL season, officially the regular season that is, officially kicked off it kicked off last Thursday with my Cowboys against the Eagles, but Sunday to me was the official with all the NFL teams playing, and I took away some of my storylines that I mainly paid attention to throughout week 1, and I'm gonna go ahead and give y'all some of my topics and my thoughts on these particular subjects. Now, Give me some grace, y'all. I know it's gonna be a couple of people that may jump in the comments and say it's only week 1. This is just what I took from week 1. I understand it's early. We got a lot more season left to go, but this is just what I took from it. So let's go ahead and dive right into it, man. So starting off, should Detroit Lions fans be concerned after getting dominated by the Packers week 1? The Detroit Lions stumbled out the gates in week 1. Detroit lost an ugly game 27-13 against Green Bay on Sunday. Most NFL analysts predicted that the Lions would take a step back in 2025 after losing both Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn. Unfortunately, the Lions gave their fans nothing to latch on to in week 1 to prove otherwise. Lions head coach Dan Campbell did not sugarcoat his response after the game. He owned up to all of Detroit's failings, though he did say that everything that went wrong is fixable. He also gave the Packers their due credit for dominating the season opener. That team played well, Campbell said after the game. Per Athletics' Carlton Pouncey. Credit to them and Coach LaFleur. They came out and they played outstanding, and we didn't play good enough. We didn't coach good enough, including me. The Packers may deserve some credit, but there is also plenty of blame to hand out too. Let's not forget the Lions have dominated the NFC North for the past 2 years. Such an embarrassing loss is still inexcusable for a team as talented as Detroit. John Morton looked like a big downgrade from Ben Johnson. Detroit's new OC did not have many answers on Sunday. Morton orchestrated a bland attack that did not seem to have any answers for Green Bay's deep coverage shells. The Lions only managed 246 yards on offense, a pitiful result for what has been one of the league's best units. So my thoughts for Detroit getting dominated week 1, honestly, it's no shocker to me. I told everybody going into the season that you can't just overlook teams when they lose their offense and defensive coordinator. These coordinators mean something. Ben Johnson, and for Jared Goff, we got to understand that, yes, some of these quarterbacks are extremely talented, and you could switch in and out offensive coordinators, and, things will just continue to flow just because of how mentally talented some of these quarterbacks in the NFL are. I believe Jared Goff is a system quarterback. That's no knock on Jared Goff. That's just what it is. I believe Jared Goff thrived in Ben Johnson's system. You remove Ben Johnson from that, I believe now you will start to see a regression in Jared Goff's play. Same thing when he played with Sean McVay with the Rams. You seen that, Sean McVay got things out of Jared Goff that you didn't see prior. I feel like it's the same thing in Detroit when Ben Johnson. Now you remove Ben Johnson away. Now you see for Detroit to go out there, and granted, Green Bay played a hell of a game on the defensive side of the ball. But for them to go out there and only muster up 6 points with 13 points. I'm sorry, but it was 6 points for majority of the game. They kind of scored like late in like garbage time, but the game was already wrapped up at that point. But for Detroit to go out there and look the way they look, they couldn't get nothing going on offense. You have Gibbs, you have Montgomery, you have Amon-Ra St. Brown, you also just paid Williams, you have Laporta at tight end. They couldn't get nothing going. It just seemed like the only thing they could get going was little dump offs. Jared Goff just looked like he was all over the place. This is why we cannot undervalue these coordinators. This is why, me being a Cowboy fan, I was so upset with Dan Quinn leaving, going to become the head coach in Washington, because Dan Quinn literally came in one season and flipped around our whole defense. You know what I'm saying? This is why these coordinators matter. But what we have to understand is, with winning comes teams trying to take guys from your coaching staff. That's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? But I think Detroit is in now. Granted, I'm not going to totally dismiss Detroit. Yes, it is week 1. Like Coach Campbell said, there are things that they can go in and fix, but you got to do it in a hurry, because it was a lot of question marks going into the season, and they didn't answer none in week 1. So for my own topic and my own question, I'm going to answer absolutely yes. Detroit fans should be concerned, because you don't know what you're going to get. Hopefully they can go in there and tweak some things and, make things better on the offensive side, but you got to do it. You got to hit the ground running. Also on the defensive side, the defense couldn't stop a nosebleed. Green Bay, blew the doors off of them early, and neither one had an answer. They didn't have an answer for Green Bay's offense, and they didn't have an answer for Green Bay's defense. And this is why we have to stop dismissing these coordinators, man. We got to stop just thinking, oh, man, this team is talented. Yeah, so no, you could put anybody in there and they'll be able to coach them at a high level. No, bro, it don't work like that. It does not work like that in the NFL. Like, trust me, these teams adjust, and trust me, teams are going to now be licking their chops to know they don't have Ben Johnson standing on that sideline. They don't have Aaron Glenn standing on that sideline. So now teams are going to see what Green Bay just did, and they're going to believe that, Detroit could be had. Every year under Ben Johnson, when Ben Johnson was there, I think the past 2 seasons, Detroit has had top five offenses. Their offense has been the top echelon of the NFL. What we just seen this past Sunday did not look nowhere near like that. And I'm telling you, man, they're gonna have to fix this thing quick, or I'm gonna keep it all the way real. Detroit could be in some trouble, man. Just look at last year under Ben Johnson. Total offense 2nd, passing offense 2nd, rushing offense 6th, scoring offense 1st, red zone offense 3rd, third down offense 4th. This is what they looked like under Ben Johnson last year. And people really thought that you could just remove him from the equation and, just put somebody else in there, and it don't work like that. Yes, you can have all the talent in the world, but these guys got to be coached up. And the same thing on the defensive side. They got to be coached up. And like I said, this is no knock towards Jared Goff, but I believe Jared Goff is a system quarterback. LA was willing to trade Jared Goff to Detroit for Matthew Stafford, who was more talented than Jared Goff and ultimately won them a Super Bowl. Jared Goff was in a great system under Ben Johnson. They lost in the playoffs, and me personally, I don't think that they can win with Jared Goff being their quarterback. That's no knock against him, but that's just my opinion. But now you remove Ben Johnson from that equation, I believe we're gonna see the old. We're going to start seeing Jared Goff's true colors now. And like I said, I do believe Jared Goff is a good quarterback, but I just believe that he fit Ben Johnson's system so well that Ben Johnson elevated what he was. You feel what I'm saying? But we just going to have to wait and see. But to answer my own question, I absolutely 100% believe Detroit fans should be a little bit concerned. But I'm going to give Coach Campbell the benefit of the doubt. He said that he believed that the things that went wrong in week 1 could be fixed. So we just got to wait and see what happens come week 2. And Coach Campbell has been good since he's been in Detroit. So I'm going to give those guys the benefit of the doubt. But Trust me, all eyes are going to be on that team to see how they look, how they respond after what just happened in week 1. I'm definitely going to be paying attention. Moving on to my next topic. So I went to this game right here, right? So Sunday, when I got home, I had to kind of rewatch a little bit of the games because, yes, I did go to the Commanders versus Giants game. I enjoyed myself. It was a good game, good atmosphere. Y'all know I'm a Cowboy fan, but I went to go check them out, just check out scouting the competition, if you must call it. But it was not the Giants offense did not look good at all. And Brian Daboll just came out yesterday and saying that they plan on sticking with Russell Wilson going into week 2 versus my Cowboys. So the topic that I have is, are the Giants making a mistake sticking with Russell Wilson? Despite a mediocre performance on Sunday, the New York Giants are sticking with Russell Wilson. Giants head coach Brian Daboll told reporters Monday that Wilson will stay as quarterback 1 for the week 2 matchup against the Dallas Cowboys. New York lost to the Washington Commanders 21-6 on Sunday, with Daboll admitting that the team didn't play particularly well. But when watching the tape, Daboll said that his choice to keep the veteran quarterback as a starter was clear. We have to do better. We have to do a better job collectively, coaching, playing, but Russell will start, Daboll said. Wilson went 17 of 37 in Sunday's loss, throwing for 168 yards. The Giants' only points came off a pair of field goals from kicker Graham Gano. Overall, New York picked up only 231 total offensive yards, nearly half of Washington's 432. The lackluster showing from Wilson raised questions on whether the Giants should switch to rookie quarterback Jackson Dart, the team's first-round draft pick out of Ole Miss. Dart did not play a snap in Sunday's game, even though New York's offense was treading water. After the game, Daboll said that he did not consider putting Dart in. He also made a point of sticking up for Wilson, emphasizing that it was a collective struggle on offense. I got confidence in Russ, he said. We'll go back. We'll evaluate the tape. The game isn't on Russell Wilson. I want to make that clear. My thoughts on this whole thing, and I understand Brian Daboll has a job to do. He goes out there and he sticks up for his starter, the veteran. I get it. And before I give my thoughts on that, I want to give credit to Washington. Washington's defense played great. They had a game plan. They controlled the line of scrimmage. Deron Payne had a hell of a game. Wise had a hell of a game. That secondary played good. So shout out to Washington's defense for, going out there and playing a hell of a ball game. Secondly, I know what a lot of people is going to say. You can't really blame Russ. The offensive line looked terrible, which is true. The offensive line did look absolutely terrible. I'll give you that. The offensive line didn't play well. Russ had guys in his face the whole game. They couldn't get the run game going, and it looked like he didn't have a lot of time to, step back and scan the field and, make throws and things of that nature because the offensive line just looked bad. The Giants have been dealing with offensive line problems for I don't know how long. It's like every year they go in and try to build up and get the offensive line right, and every year the offensive line is sorry. It's like I can't tell you the last time when the Giants had a decent offensive line. That's just me. But see, the type of person I am, I believe two things can always be true. Did the offensive line play bad? Absolutely. They played terrible. But on the other hand, Russell Wilson was terrible. We got to be honest. Russell Wilson was terrible. When Russell Wilson did have time, I seen overthrown balls. I seen, I just seen he didn't look confident in the pocket. Russell Wilson just didn't look good. He just didn't look good. And we seen, Malik Neighbors and Daboll have a situation on the sideline, and I guess it was because Malik Neighbors felt like that, he wasn't getting the targets that he wanted or he wasn't getting the ball thrown his way. Russell Wilson played bad. And if I'm Brian Daboll, I'm going to let it ride week 2. I'm going to put Russ out there week 2. But if Russell Wilson goes out there and looks the same way week 2 that he did in week 1, I'm going in there and I'm banging the table to that front office and letting them know I want to play Jackson Dart. If they gave Brian Daboll another chance. A lot of people, including myself, believe that Brian Daboll should have lost his job after last year. They gave him a chance. If I'm Brian Daboll, I'm going down swinging with the rookie that we traded up back into the first round to get. I'm asking them, if Russell Wilson goes out there and looks the same way in week 2, I want to ride with the rookie. Because the next 3 games for the Giants is Cowboys, Chiefs, Chargers. We could look up and the Giants could be 0-4 just like that. And the season at that point is virtually over. Before I go that route and the season just be a waste, I'm going to give my rookie a shot to come in there and, see if he can give us a spot. That's just me. I'm sorry. I'm not Russell Wilson. I just feel like you know what he is at this point. Russell Wilson did not look good in that game. Yes, did the offensive line play terrible? Absolutely. But when Russ had time in the pocket, he was not making anything happen. He was not. And I'm not even mad at the defense. I feel like the defense did good enough to give the Giants a shot to compete in this game. If the Giants get better quarterback play, the Giants are competing in this ball game. The score was like 14-6 going into the fourth quarter. Washington wasn't doing anything phenomenal or doing anything to pull it away. It was just the Giants' offense was so abysmal that they didn't give themselves a chance. So I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm a believer that 2 things could be true. Did the offensive line play bad? Yes, but Russell Wilson was terrible. Russell Wilson is not the answer. He's not. And if I'm Brian Daboll, I'm going down swinging. If I'm gonna lose my job at the end of this season, I'm throwing the rookie out there and see what spark he can give us. You never know what can happen unless you try. You never know. But I'm not going to continue to watch Russell Wilson go out there, and I know that more than likely I'm going to lose my job at the end of the season, and not just be that. No, I'm going down swinging with the guy that we traded. You didn't trade back into the first round to get him for nothing. Throw him out there and see what he got. But I understand, Brian Daboll, you got to stick by your guy. I get it. You have to do that. You the head coach. That's your starting quarterback. He's the vet. You have to do that. I completely understand. But if Russell Wilson goes out there and plays the way that he does in week 2, I believe the Giants should make a change going into week 3. And I believe you give Jackson Dart the keys and you allow him to carry this thing moving forward. Because I just from what I've seen, Russell Wilson is not it. The Giants had opportunities in the red zone that they squandered. They couldn't get the run game going at all. Russ is out there overthrowing balls. Also, they need somebody to step up other than Malik Neighbors. They have no other weapons that scare anybody outside of Malik Neighbors. Nobody. They need to figure out who's going to be that wide receiver 2. I like Robinson a lot. I think Robinson, but I don't think he can be a legit number 2 wide receiver. Maybe like a wide receiver 3, a gadget guy, but I don't see him being a legit number 2. You got to get Malik Neighbors some help. And I understand it's frustration. I understand the frustration. And honestly, if I'm the Giants, you should be concerned. Because Malik Neighbors is a stud. Some people have Malik Neighbors as a top 10 wide receiver. You cannot waste this man's career by putting him out there with these. He already had to deal with Daniel Jones for a year. And hey, y'all seen what Daniel Jones, I picked the Colts. Y'all see what Daniel Jones just did in week 1 with the Colts versus the Dolphins. I'm just saying Daniel Jones might not have been the problem all along. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing that out there. But I can tell you one thing. Russell Wilson, I don't believe Russell Wilson is going to be the answer. I don't believe it. So if I'm Brian Daboll, like I said, and I've said it multiple times, if I'm going to go down, I'm going to go down swinging. I'm putting Jackson Dart out there if Russell Wilson goes out there and underperforms against the Cowboys. I want him to underperform, honestly. This may sound wild because I need my Cowboys to get in the win column. But hey, I can't wait to see how this thing unfolds. And also get my man Malik Neighbors. Y'all got to get that wide receiver 2 position slot filled out. Play Hyatt. You don't give Hyatt. He was Hyatt a first round draft pick? I can't remember. I think Hyatt might have been a first round draft pick by the Giants. I can't remember right now at the top of my head. But y'all didn't play Hyatt at all. You know what I'm saying? And then teams calling about trading him. You don't want to trade him, but you don't give him no minutes. Y'all got to get Malik Neighbors some help, man. But also, too, listen, If Russell Wilson go out there and look like how he looked, Jackson Dart, it's your time, my boy. I think it should be your time. I'm going to keep it on. I think it should be your time going into week 2, but that's just me. But before y'all jump in the comments talking about the offensive line, yes, I do believe the offensive line played terrible as well. So there's that. Moving on. The bad man, Aaron Rodgers, shines in his return back to the Jets. Hey, I'm going to tell y'all, that was a hell of a game, right? And before I get into, up big in Aaron Rodgers, hey, Justin Fields, you look good out there, bro. Pause. You did your thing. Hey, Justin Fields might give the Jets a Sam Darnold Minnesota season, like how Sam Darnold gave the Vikings last year. Justin Fields went out there and was making plays. Hey, I think the Jets for sure is going to be the best football team in New York this season. The Jets look good, man, and I honestly thought the Jets was going to win that game, but shout out to the Jets. Y'all played a hell of a game, man, and shout out to Justin Fields. I'm glad to see him out there, but see him, go out there and perform and play good like that. But this is about Aaron Rodgers. So in a high-scoring game, Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers recorded a 34-32 win over the Jets in Week 1 of the 2025 regular season. Rodgers led the Steelers to victory by throwing 4 touchdown passes against his former team. Rodgers finished the game with 244 yards on 22 of 30 passing. The key to Pittsburgh win was the play of their 4-time league MVP, former Super Bowl MVP, and future Hall of Fame quarterback. Despite not joining the Steelers until minicamp, Rodgers put up impressive numbers while getting to within 1 touchdown of Tom Brett Favre on the career touchdown pass list. Rodgers was especially good on 3rd and long situations on Pittsburgh's first drive. For example, Rodgers converted a pair of 3rd and long situations that set up his first touchdown pass as a member of the Pittsburgh Steelers. He was also especially good in the end zone, as the Steelers were a perfect 3 of 3 inside the Jets' 20-yard line. That, I guess that meant to say red zone, but they say end zone. There's a lot of garbage being talked about myself and Arthur Smith or whatever out there, how we're going to coexist. We've got a great relationship. He called a really good game. I got to play a little better in spots. Happy to be 1-0. Rodgers during his post-game interview with Evan Washburn. So my thoughts, first off, like I said, that was a hell of a game. That was a hell of a game right there. That was a great way to kick off Week 1. But I said it early, and I'll say it again. Aaron Rodgers looked phenomenal. The way I seen Aaron Rodgers play in that game, that was vintage Aaron Rodgers. That was the Aaron Rodgers that was the best version of Aaron Rodgers I've seen since he left Green Bay. Now, I know he got injured for the Jets that first season, but he didn't look that good last year. That version that I just seen from Aaron Rodgers in Week 1 against his former team was the best version of Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, he looked comfortable. We seen Aaron Rodgers move off platform and make throws on the move. That touchdown to Austin in the 4th quarter where he I think it was after they recovered the fumble from the kickoff where it was a bootleg. He put that ball, that was a dime. He put that ball on a rope. And just his composure, that looked like vintage Aaron Rodgers. If the Pittsburgh Steelers can get this version of Aaron Rodgers for the duration of the season, it would not shock me. It would honestly not shock me if the Pittsburgh Steelers are not competing to win that division. And also, it wouldn't shock me if we see Pittsburgh Steelers make a deep run in the playoffs. That's how good Aaron Rodgers played. Not only Aaron Rodgers, but that defense looked good. Even though I understand the Jets did put up 30 points. But that play by Ramsey to seal the game, TJ Watt, we know what he's going to give you. But if they can continue to get that production and the way Aaron Rodgers played, this Pittsburgh Steelers team could be very dangerous. They can be very dangerous. DK Metcalf looked awesome. Jonnu Smith, who was in the trade for Minkah Fitzpatrick, he played a big role in this game. Freiermuth looked solid. That running game, they got my man from who they picked up from Philly, Gaineswell. Gaineswell looked solid. You know what I'm saying? They just look complete. Arthur Smith called a great game. If Aaron Rodgers can continue to play this way with that supporting cast that he has around him, the wide receiver crew outside of Metcalf is not all that, but they were making plays. Austin made plays. Like I said, Freiermuth made plays. You know what I'm saying? If they can continue to get that production and Aaron Rodgers look the way that he looked, this Steelers team could be very dangerous. Not only did Aaron Rodgers look phenomenal, it's clear as day. This is the best quarterback that Pittsburgh has had since Ben Roethlisberger. And I'm not talking about the last years of Ben Roethlisberger. I'm talking about like Ben Roethlisberger in his before the last couple of years. That's how good Aaron Rodgers looked. But everybody knows I'm a big Aaron Rodgers guy. Some of the things that he says and does, I don't like all the time. But I know one thing: when Aaron Rodgers is locked in and focused and playing at that level, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. And you can't even argue. Nobody can argue that. So I just think I know it's only week 1 and we got to see them continue it, because the question is this the Aaron Rodgers that we're going to see throughout the duration of the season, or was this just a motivated Aaron Rodgers going back, playing his old team, trying to prove a point? We will see, but I know this. If Aaron Rodgers plays the way that he played in week 1 for the rest of the season, the Steelers could be dangerous, and the Steelers could be fighting for that division. The Steelers could be fighting Baltimore for that division. I'm going to keep it all the way 100 with you. I'm not saying that they can make the Super Bowl, but I think they can make a deep run in the playoffs if they get this version of Aaron Rodgers. That's just my thoughts. But hey, I couldn't finish this episode without bigging up Aaron Rodgers. That was a hell of a game, because I kept my eyes on that one because I wanted to see how he was going to look. And so far, I give him an A. So they just got to keep it going. But Steelers fans, y'all should be truly excited after what y'all just seen, man. For real. So moving on. Week 2 NFL predictions. And I want to give a shout out. I forgot to do this at the beginning of the episode. Shout out to my man Sean for joining me last week on episode 59, man. That was a hell of an episode. If you didn't go check it out, go check it out. And trust me, I'm going to have plenty more guests on the pod, man. Different people. You never know who will pop up on here. But I wanted to give a shout out to my man Sean for, locking in with me last week. Hell of an episode, bro. But these are my week 2 NFL predictions. So we're going to start with Thursday night. This one was hard, and I honestly think this is a flip. This is a pick'em game, because I seen some signs from Washington. I like how Deebo Samuels look. I think Terry McLaurin still has to get into rhythm. He missed basically all of training camp. I really like what I seen from, call him Bill, but Krosky Murray. I like what I seen from him. Washington can have a low-key stud in Krosky Murray in the backfield. And like I said, the defense played relatively well against the Giants. Now, I don't know if that's because you were going against the New York Giants, or if we could look forward to that. So I had a tough time picking this game, but I went Packers over Commanders, but you could flip that anyway. The reason why I went Packers is because the way that the Packers went out there and dominated Detroit, I don't know if, the offensive coordinator being gone, defensive coordinator played a major factor, and Detroit is just slow coming out the gates, but the Packers completely dominated that ball game. Dominated offensively and defensively. Jordan Love looked confident. Looked confident. They wide receivers made plays for him. That defense, Micah Parsons got a sack. They were all over Jared Goff. You know what I'm saying? So I think if the Packers can ride that wave and continue that into Thursday night, I think it definitely could be a closer game than we seen on Sunday with Green Bay. But I definitely think Green Bay could edge it out. So I went Packers over Green Bay. Dobbs had a good game too for Green Bay as well. I went Packers over Commanders. Moving on to Sunday, I went Cowboys over Giants. I went 49ers over the Saints. I think Lions get their face back. I went Lions over the Bears. The Bears, I don't know. That right there is another pick 'em too. The Bears were winning. The Bears pulled the Ravens on us. They were winning a bulk load of the game and then allowed Minnesota to come back at the end and win the ball game. So you never know what you get with the Bears, man. And Caleb Williams, he not looking it right now. It is real wishy-washy. So I went Lions over Bears. I think Lions get their face back in this one. I went Bills over Jets. I think that could be another good game. The Jets, like I said before when I spoke on Aaron Rodgers, the Jets look real good. Justin Fields looked good. He looked comfortable. That run game with Breece Hall and Allen, you know what I'm saying? The Jets look good, man. The Jets look good. So that right there could be a closer game than a lot of people think. But I went Bills over Jets. I went Ravens over Browns. I think Ravens get their face back. Ravens should really be 1-0, but hey, it is what it is. I went Bengals over Jags. I went Patriots over Dolphins. Hey, Tyreek Hill, request a trade, bro. The Dolphins is not it. And for all y'all, especially work, if you so happen to watch this, I told you, bro, Tua is not it. I'm sorry. Tua is not it. I went Patriots over Dolphins. I went Rams over Titans. I think Steelers piggyback off what they just did in week 1. I picked Steelers over Seahawks, and they start out 2-0. Hey, this one right here was a tough one. But I'm going with Danny Dimes again. I'm going with Daniel Jones again. After how they just looked dominating the Dolphins, I'm going Colts over Broncos, and I think Colts start out the year 2-0. Hey, I'm going. Daniel Jones look good, man. Daniel Jones look solid. Like I said, I don't know. Maybe it wasn't Daniel Jones that was the problem in New York. I'm going Colts over Broncos. I went Cardinals over the Panthers. This one was a tough one. I think Chiefs get their face back. But I'm going to be honest with you, that Xavier Worthy loss is big for them. Because not only Xavier Worthy is gone with injury, you don't have Rashee Rice, so Hollywood Brown is going to have to step up big. Travis Kelce is going to have a vengeance game. Pacheco in that run game you're going to have to help Patrick Mahomes out as best as you can. And also that defense is going to have to play very good. Philly dodged something. You know, Jalen Carter found out today that he won't be suspended for the spitting thing with Dak. You know, so they'll be fully loaded on defense, and that offense will be fully loaded. Hopefully, you know, they get that passing game going, get A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and them boys involved. I went Chiefs just because I gave this going to be a very close game. I gave Chiefs the edge, though, just because it's in Arrowhead. I think that crowd is going to be crazy, and I think Patrick Mahomes is going to be able to make enough plays to where the Chiefs can get their face back and win this game. I went Vikings over the Falcons. I think that's going to be another good one. Vikings, J.J. McCarthy didn't look good at the beginning last night, but he slowly settled down, and you seen the potential there. Falcons almost beat Tampa Bay. That was a close game. Y'all know I said the Falcons are my sleeper team in the NFC. So they gave the Bucks a run for their money. Bucks end up winning that game. But for this one, I went Vikings over Falcons. I went Bucks over Texans. I think we got a doubleheader on Monday night. I went Bucks over the Texans. And I went Chargers over the Raiders. I think Chargers start out 2-0. That was a huge win for them against the Chiefs week 1. I think they piggyback off that. And I think they win that game. So that's it. But before I wrap this episode up, man, y'all know it's fight week, baby. Terrence Crawford versus Canelo Álvarez. We've been waiting. Highly anticipated. It's finally here. Y'all know who I got. I said I'm going Bud. The only question that's kind of scaring me is, can Bud go up? Bud going up, jumping up weight classes. I've been watching. Bud done picked up weight. He been sparring bigger guys. Like I said, y'all know my stance. Ever since that Earl Spence fight, I told myself I'd never go against Bud Crawford again, and I'm not. I got Bud by decision. I don't think it's going to be a knockout. I think it goes the distance. That's no disrespect to Canelo. Canelo Álvarez is a tremendous fighter. One of the greats, going to go down as one of the greatest of all times. We know how good Canelo is. I'm just going Bud. But if Canelo won this fight, it wouldn't shock me at all. We know what Canelo coming in there to do. Cut the ring off, head down, and try to punish you. This one I can't, man. Saturday can't come fast enough, bro. I can't wait, man. So y'all let me know in the comments if you haven't already. What's your prediction? Who wins in Saturday's mega fight? Terrence Crawford, Canelo Álvarez, man. And I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this episode up. I appreciate y'all for locking in with me each and every week. Like I said, like and share the content when it drops. Also, You know what I'm saying? Hit that like button on this video too. When I say like and share the content, I mean hit that like button and share it. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, man. We are 9 subscribers away from 300. And man, I appreciate y'all for locking in with me each and every week. Follow me on social media, Instagram, X, TikTok. I'm about to start getting back active on Facebook. You know what I'm saying? I'll be slacking on Facebook and X, but promise I got y'all though. Promise. And man, hey, don't forget to wish your boy a happy birthday in the comments, man. 31 years old. I'm blessed. I appreciate y'all, man, and I see y'all next time.